What's going on, everyone? It's Saad. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact step-by-step method that I have used to build an extremely profitable sales system agency. I had an internal cost for something like $1,500 in the last 6 months, and it has generated me well over $1 million in top-line revenue. I haven't had to do a cent of work. Once I've done the initial setup, all I had to do is get a virtual assistant to essentially handle some of the replies. This is one of the leanest and cheapest systems that I've built in this channel, just because it is extremely easy to set up, and it is also Make.com ops friendly. I'm gonna walk you through everything. I'm also gonna show you the platforms that you're gonna be needing, the costs, how the data floats, and basically how to turn random data off the internet into a lead that could be paying us all the way from $1,500 to $10,000. And at the end, I'm gonna leave you the free blueprints in the description. So if that's something you guys would be interested in, stay tuned. Okay guys, so let me give you an overview on how the system actually works. So we are basically looking for companies that are hiring for an SDR, and the reason why is because when companies are hiring for an SDR, they're making a big investment in growing their sales team. Instead of hiring, we offer a simple, scalable solution by directly reaching out to the decision makers at these companies. In our case, it's going to be founders. And I want you guys to understand that the perfect ideal customer for a sales team agency is going to be always companies hiring for an SDR, just because our entire job is connecting them with their ideal clients and basically providing them leads or booked meetings. So what basically an SDR does is just handles the outreach, the lead generation process, so we can come in and basically use AI and automation to automate the entire lead generation process in a very streamlined way. So the system works this way. More about that in a second. We scrape companies hiring for SDRs, we enrich and find decision makers, clean the company names and job titles, and then we generate a perfect email. Okay guys, so the first thing I'm going to show you is the platforms that you're going to be needing to build this system. So the first platform you're going to be needing is going to be Apify. Now, Apify is a gold mine of scrapers. There's 1,000,001 of scrapers in this platform, such as TikTok, Data Extractor, Google Maps Extractors, Instagram Scraper, and a bunch of scrapers where you can get data from. And the scraper you're going to be needing is going to be, let me go to console. If I go to console, I'm going to see all the scrapers that I've used in this platform. I will go to this scraper right here, which is called Fast Indeed Job Scraper. So it is actually pretty fast, guys. So they didn't lie. This is one of the best Indeed scrapers that I've essentially used. It's extremely simple, and you can essentially scrape like thousands of leads. I've scraped like 800 leads in like probably like 10 minutes, which is absolutely crazy. And the only thing you have to do is paste in the URL of the jobs that you want to be scraping, right? So if I go to Indeed, for example, and I'm going to click on USA. And then if I put in, for example, like SDR, and then I will put in just USA, for example, just to be a little bit broad for an example, I can just copy this URL, guys, and go back to my scraper and paste it right here, right? When I do it, I essentially will be scraping all that data that is right here, right? All of this. So these are companies hiring for an SDR, okay? Now, let me walk you guys through a few other parameters in this scraper. So you can toggle this bad boy right here, which is include external sources. I never do. You don't have to. Max jobs is the necessary records that you want to be scraping. For example, if you want to scrape, let's say 500, you would put 500. If you put 800 or 900, you put essentially all of the records that you want. You can leave it empty. If you leave it empty, you're going to scrape everything. Now, keep in mind, guys, if you are constantly scraping Indeed, you're going to get rate limited because these platforms, keep in mind, they don't want to be scraped. So just make sure you put a reasonable amount of records, right? I would encourage you to use maybe like 600 to 700 every few hours, and you'd be with 2,000, 2,500 leads each day, which is absolutely amazing, guys. Okay, so just ignore the concurrency, max requests, retries, just leave that empty. In the proxy configuration, I would always encourage you guys use residential, just because this proxy has the lowest chance of getting blocked. And then for the run options, make sure it's no timeout. And basically click on rent actor. Now this actor is $15 a month, right? So just keep that in mind. In Apify, there are a bunch of scrapers. Some are paid, some are free. This is one of the paid ones. And I think $15 a month for the amount of data that you're going to get from this platform is extremely cheap compared to the amount of money you're going to be making later on. Okay, so the next platform you're going to be needing is going to be an email finder. Now I've showed this platform a million times right now. An email finder is an extremely simple email verifier and email finder. And essentially, you only pay for verified emails with 97% accuracy. So as you guys can see, you have here trusted by professionals, Amazon, Adobe, Salesforce. So they put in like giant companies right here. And the cool part about an email finder is you only pay if you found the verified validated email, which is amazing. So compared to a platform such as Find the Email, right? For example, you have to basically pay even if they don't find the email. Now, the third platform we're going to be needing is going to be Instantly. Now, Instantly is a cold email software that we're going to be using. You can use SmartLead. I just prefer to use Instantly. So Instantly is where we're going to put our campaign and where we're going to add our leads, right? So the fourth platform we're going to be using is going to be basically Claude. And this is Claude AI. And it's built by Anthropic, and it's one of the best AI models right now in 2025. Maybe if you're watching this video in 2030 and there's like 1,000,001 models. But in 2025, this is one of the best models just because it's better than GPT-4, I believe. I've used GPT-4 to write emails, but Anthropic just blows GPT-4 out of the water. So we're going to be needing Anthropic, Claude AI, and we're going to use their API. And the way we're going to use their API is you go click on your settings and go to API keys and just copy your API key, which is going to be right here, right? By clicking on, you have to create a new one. So I have to create a new one to basically copy it. I'm going to create key, and you're just going to name it and copy it. And then you're going to have your API key. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's everything you need. Now, obviously, where we're going to build a system, we're going to build a system in make.com. So now that I walked you guys through the platforms that you're going to be needing, let me walk you guys through the system and how it works. So how it works is basically, we are running the Apify actor in the backend. So for example, I'm going to copy this URL and I'm going to paste it in here. Once I do that, I'm going to click on basically start, and the system is going to run automatically. It's going to enrich the emails. It's going to find the decision maker. It's going to write a highly customized, personalized email, and it's going to add our lead to our campaign. And we can essentially just click one button and reach out to them automatically. Let me show you the results that I got. So if I go to runs, basically I have a run right here where I pasted in this URL and this scraper, and I got 100 results. So I got 100 results in maybe a minute or two. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to storage, and then I'm gonna copy the dataset ID. Right? If I copy this dataset ID, basically, this is where the data is stored. Right? This is basically like the RAM of the scraper. So this output right here, it's basically stored in storage, right? So you copy it and you paste it in this module right here, which is called get dataset items. What you can do is just paste that in here. Once you paste that, you click OK. You put the limit of the numbers of records that you want to be using. So let's say you want to retrieve, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 6. You're going to put 6. If you want to put 10, you're going to put 10. If you want to retrieve everything, you're going to leave that empty, right? So this is how this get dataset items module works. Now, before I go into the next module, I forgot to explain the first one. So bear with me. So I have a watch act run. So this module is waiting, right? Is waiting for this run to finish. So once this run is finished, once the scraper finishes, we're gonna receive a notification in Make, and then we're gonna get that dataset item, right, from the URL. And then we're gonna get that dataset items from this run, right? Now I'm just hard coding the dataset ID. What you want to do is look for default dataset ID right here, and you would map it right here. So this default dataset ID is going to be the latest run that has been ran, essentially. So I'm going to click on OK. And then the next module that I have is an email finder. I'm just using an email finder to find the decision maker, in this case, the CEO. And then what I'm going to do, only if the email is found. So if an email finder finds the email, we're going to clean the company name, right? So the company name is going to be like something like an example company name .inc or LTD. We want to have a clean company name, such as, let's say my company name is MyoProcess.inc. It has to be MyoProcess, right? Now, the next module is we have a job title cleaner. So I don't want the job title to be too long, such as sales development representative and SDRs. I just want the SDR, and I'm gonna explain to you why, guys. The next thing we have is we get first name. So once I find the first person's email. So for example, this guy right here, Anthony Garcia. I don't have their first name, so I have it. I just have the full name. I just want to split this full name so I can retrieve the first name. And I'm using just a formula, which is split the first name by a space, and I'm just getting the first one. And I'm going to get, for example, Anthony, right? Awesome. So the next thing is we're generating a dream email. Now, guys, this is where the juice is. Now, in this channel, if you're watching this channel, you would know that we use something called constrained variables whenever we write our emails. So the idea is pretty simple, and I love talking about it. And I think I was the first one who actually populated this method. And the way it works is you write an email, right? You write an email for your ideal customer, and you write it. It would be human written. You're not going to use AI. You're just going to write it. It would be like an ideal email you would send to an ideal customer. And then you would turn it into a template. And in that template, right, there are going to be variables that will be interchangeable of each lead's data, or let's say each lead's information. So for example, their location, their first name, their anything like their case studies, and you just put that email into a template, and you can just fill out with the information all that data that you want from. For example, let me show you guys the results, and then I'm going to show you how it works in the backend. Okay. Okay. So let me check if I'm recording. I am. So the first thing is we have, okay, so here's the email. Here's the final output. Hey, Anthony, hope you're doing well. I heard equipment is looking for an SDR and plug for Phil. Finding the right talent can be tough. Speaking as a fellow founder who's probably checked Slack during family dinners way too many times. So, guys, don't be afraid to be a little bit creative when writing your emails, because you need a little bit of fun sometimes, right? And trust me, I know this copy is going to do well just because it broke through the matrix. Most founders or decision makers, they receive emails such as 10 booked meetings or you don't pay. Like, it's just so pitchy. And I think that in 2025, we are lacking that human connection. So make sure you use that and leverage that in your advantage. So speaking as a fellow founder who's probably checked Slack during family dinners way too many times, instead of hiring full-time SDR, we can connect you with long-term ideal clients at about 30% of the cost of an in-house hire and 17% less than a typical lead gen agency. Would that be helpful to equipment? Thanks, Saad. So this is what I say by an extremely, extremely personalized email. So yeah, guys. So the way I managed to get this output from GPT, from Claude, is I said, you are a conversational, concise writing assistant. Fill in the template below using the data provided. Only output the templated email without additional text or formatting. Now, you have to understand, guys, that these models are extremely shitty at writing full emails, but they're extremely good at writing at constrained variables, right? So once you feed in templates with placeholders, they're going to just fill that template with the data that you're going to feed them. So for example, I'm feeding in the first name, which we have the first name, and then hope you're doing well. I heard company name. So this is the clean company name, right? And then in result, looking for an SDR. As you guys can see, here's why we cleaned the company name, because we don't want to say we don't want to say I heard company name is looking for a sales development SDR. It just shows that we just took that data. Now we're just cleaning up. And then I'm just taking the job location, which is the city. And I'm saying, hey, finding the right talent can be tough. I'm just finishing up the email, and Claude is just going to fill in those results right here. So, and I have another thing right here. Will that be helpful to company name? The result is the company name here. And I'm clicking OK. And then at the end, I'm just adding the prospect to a campaign, basically. If I go to my campaign, I'm going to click on login. And then I believe campaign right here. If I go to leads, I think I added this earlier. So these are the leads that I have, right? Let me go to sequences. Let me add, let me delete all of this. This is an old campaign that I showed in this channel. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add in personalization, and I believe I'll have it. Yeah. I don't think so. So let me create a new campaign, guys. I'm just going to name this test campaign. And then I don't have anything. I don't have no leads. And then I'm going to go back to my system. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlink this. And I'm going to put this right here because I just want to hard code the dataset ID that I have. I go back to my storage, copy, paste that in here, click on OK. And I'm going to run this. So I'm finding the email. First one couldn't be found. Let's see if an email finder is going to find the second one. So it found it. And then we added everything in 1 second. So we wrote the email and we added it to the campaign. If I refresh this, go back to my leads, analytics. I think I misclicked something here. Oh, yeah. I need to add, I forgot to add in the right campaign. So it's task campaign. Sorry, guys. Click OK. And then I'm going to click run once. Company name is cleaned. Everything is added. Now we're going to find the lead right here, which is this guy. And then I'm going to go to sequences. If I put in personalization, and then what I'm going to do is send from my iPhone, and then it's, hey, Anthony, hope you're doing well. I heard Equipment is looking for a new SDR in Pligerfrail. Finding the right talent can be tough. Speaking as a fellow founder who's probably checked Slack during family dinners way too many times. Instead of hiring a full-time SDR, we could connect you with long-term ideal clients at about 30% of the cost of an in-house hire and 70% less than a typical lead gen agency. Would that be helpful to Equipment? Thanks, Saad, sent from my iPhone. So there you go, guys. So this is how you essentially can build a highly profitable system. And essentially, guys, you could put any job title that you want. So let's say you have a client that a marketing agency and they provide lead generation services. For example, you could look for companies hiring for a marketing specialist. If you are working with an SEO agency, for example, they could be looking, for an SEO specialist. Think about it, guys. The sky is the limit. Once you have the platform, you can get up and running and basically do that yourself. So there you go, guys. I hope you found value in this video. If you guys have any video ideas, just leave them in a comment. And if the system is worth building, I'm going to build it live for you and I'm going to tag you. And also head over to the description. You're going to find the free blueprints. So thanks so much for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.